Gee, it's almost as if a certain company keeps making the same toy over and over again. We opened this week with Hinata showing off her viral videos to her friends. I'm guessing she started off with her TikTok channel, where she was dancing along to their ending theme, which FYI, the full version of that is amazing. And then her YouTube, which of course had cat videos. Amateur, so desperate for the views. Now if you excuse me, I'm going to go film an unboxing. Those are still a thing, right? Also, as someone who does this on a weekly basis, I think she could pass this off as just a well-edited video. Don't doubt what After Effects is capable of. Hinata then took notice of some old photos of Nodoka, pointing out that all of them were from her toddler days. Yeah, apparently they couldn't take many in between all of her surgeries. Worth mentioning that this week's writer is Mutsumi Ito, a well-seasoned comedy episode writer for this franchise, including that princess episode. Yeah, we're in good hands this week. Anyway, this gave Hinata an idea, and thus she invited her friends to go with her to a crowded shopping mall. Well, already this is the least timely episode in the entire franchise. Though, considering how fast these girls were power walking, maybe they were actually promoting social distancing. Hinata took her team to a little annual event the mall was having. It was a big photo shoot meet where attendees could rent rooms and borrow clothes and accessories to take pictures in. Her friends, particularly Chu throughout this entire episode, were reluctant, but through the magic of the aforementioned paid sponsors and Hinata's fashion sense, she managed to win them over. The healing animals also secretly and creepily took part in the event. Seriously, why is my precious Pegaton making this face? Thankfully, Rablin acted as the voice of reason, albeit through some intimidation tactics. Guys, don't question Edelgard, just comply. After picking out all their accessories, our heroines moved on to choosing their attires, which in hindsight they probably should have done first to avoid the crowds. And okay, that's it. I'm starting an awkward Chiu face counter. Nodoka tried to pick out a dress, but wasn't having a lot of luck. Well, obviously, you shouldn't be reaching for the ones that aren't part of the background. Eventually, the crowds ended up overwhelming our fragile lead, much to the dismay of Hinata. They took her outside, and okay, I gotta give points to the storyboarder Yutaka Tsuchida this week for adding in all kinds of little details like Chiu's faces and Rablin fanning her partner with her ears. That's just too cute. However, Hinata couldn't appreciate the cuteness as, once again, she ended up apologizing for her short-sightedness that led to her neglecting her friend's condition. She even offered to help take her home to recover. But Nodoka, being Nodoka, assured her friend that she was fine and that Hinata shouldn't blame herself. And to be fair, it's not her fault. I mean, who could predict a bunch of teenage girls going crazy over some pretty dresses? Point still stands. The conversation ended up getting sidelined after Hinata had to chase after Latte, whom I'm assuming mistook this dog for her mother. Yeah, it's the wrong color, but again, dog. Elsewhere, after having gotten her horns blinged out, is that like getting a tattoo? She joined in create a Mega Byogen out of a gem elemental, and just because it ended recently, I better not see any Steven Universe references in the comments. Anyway, since Hinata was the only one with Latte at the time, she was the first on the scene and decided that she didn't have time to wait for her friends, so she engaged it alone. I guess we must be nearing the end of the episode. Well, may as well sit back and enjoy a short little— how much time do we have left? Yeah, almost half of this episode's actual runtime was dedicated to this fight, which is pretty astonishing, especially in this era of Precure. And while not a Sakuga fest, the animation here was fairly impressive. Seriously, why does Hinata fighting in this particular shopping mall get the special treatment? Anyway, much like the monster from last week, this one was made from a very dense element, so Hinata couldn't easily bypass its defenses. Still, also like the monster from last week, it should be a Mighty Glacier or a Lightning Bruiser. Yeah, that's not good. And whoa, what's with Yatran's face there? Well, this is the first time I'm adding a 1 to this folder, but there you go. As if fighting a Juggernaut wasn't bad enough, Shidoinen probably dealt the more significant blow when she pointed out Hinata's short-sightedness for not waiting for her teammates. Thankfully, shortly after that heart-wrenching line, Nodoka and Shiu finally arrived and joined in on the fight. Together, they fended off the monster and gave themselves a convenient minute or two to just hash things out. Yeah, I'll admit, this talk they have in the middle of a fight was a little forced, but I'll let it pass since it was a good character moment as Hinata's friends assured her that short-sighted or not, she was clearly doing everything she could to make them happy. Also, there was this moment. Did I mention Ito is really into Yuri? Because she is. Anyway, the Mega Byogen woke up and the battle continued. Things weren't looking good, as not only were their attacks useless, but the elemental was in the center of the monster's body.
That's what she said.
Luckily, unlike certain other writers, Ito knows how to make power-ups look good, and thus Chiyu used her new Ice Ball to not only make the monster slip, but also freeze, making it vulnerable to Hinata's finisher. With that, they rescued the Gem Elemental, but no bottle this week. Fair enough, better to space things out, I think. And, unlike last week, I guess there was still staff around to take their pictures, so Hinata suggested they do it in their Precure outfits. Yeah, you really should save that kind of stuff for comic market in the winter, hopefully. So instead, they went with some dresses Hinata had put aside earlier. They took their picture together and Chiyu made 2 more faces for the counter. And with that, the episode ended with Nodoka having a more recent photo to add to her collection. Chiyu made an incredibly smug face. And we got more shipping material. Much like the focus character herself, this episode managed to be a ton of fun, with plenty of laughs. I think the lengthiest fight we've gotten so far. Though, it also managed to sneak in a few simple, yet pleasant little character moments for our resident Precure. As I've said, a strong trait of this series is its consistency with its characterization. Chiyu has remained comically serious, Nodoka's constitution, while stronger than before, still remains a factor, and Hinata remains impulsive. Granted, she is improving, as technically it wasn't completely her fault that Nodoka passed out during their trip. She was definitely being reckless when she tried to take on Shidoinen alone, and thankfully, no one, including even her friends, denied this, unlike a certain other show. But still, they cared for her, which of course is fine. Also, I think she did end up becoming overly remorseful at times, which is also a part of her character and something else she needs to overcome. For now though, it makes her very amicable and easily relatable, especially for overthinkers like me. Again, sensing some possible ADHD from this girl. Regardless, it's just touching to see her friends being very understanding and recognizing her goodwill above all else. In general, all of the emotions were expressed very well in this episode thanks to some great direction and storyboarding that added in all kinds of nice subtle little touches. While this wasn't Mutsumi Ito's most knee-slapping episode ever, it still got some good laughs out of me, and there was more than enough personality to go around, from Chiyu's faces to even Shidoinen of all characters being kind of cute. And of course, a long, well-animated fight that actually made good use of the new power-up is more than appreciated. Again, don't know why the Hinata episodes get all the special treatment, but still, really good, charming stuff from this season so far. If you haven't seen it yet, I just posted up the second part of my Happiness Charge review, which I managed to make a little quicker than usual because I've been stuck in my apartment for the last couple of weeks. Though it hasn't affected my mental stability in any— Quiet down there! Don't make me get out the attack monkey! Wait, seriously though, I hope you guys can enjoy it, and that it can help us at least a little bear through these more difficult times. Look forward to part 3, as well as all my future videos. And until then, though, farewell for now, my friends. And if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna see if the VR world can relieve me of my cabin fever a little.